Hi, my name is Junko Yoshida. I'm the editor-in-chief of Junko's Tech Probe, and I'm here today with two analysts, Pierrick and you from Yole, to talk about what they have seen in recent months, including their visit to Japan, also Beijing Auto Show, and then what they think as the global trend. Different country seems to be adopting different strategy, but what is the global trend? All right, first, gentlemen, let me introduce you. Can you introduce yourself? And then, sorry, Pierrick, just a few seconds.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Junko, and hello, everyone. So my name is Yu Yang, and I'm the principal lead analyst for automotives and robotics. So I have been 5 years at Yole, taking care of these kind of topics. And before joining Yole, I worked for almost 10 years for the automotive tier one. So that's where I'm trying to combine my background of automotive and the semiconductors. Yeah.
I will continue. So I'm Pierrick Boulay. I'm a principal analyst at Yole. I've been there for more than 10 years now. And as with you, we're working together on the automotive and robots activity.
So tell me that, let's start from the big picture. Where does Japan stand? Where, Japan is known for its automotive industry for a long time, but we hear different reports. So let's sort of level set. Where do you see Japanese automaker stands?
Yeah, for us, this is the event picked to follow up the development of the automotive industry in Japan, which is a very big industry, very seriously. I mean, once you were in the show, you know immediately how serious the business is. It's a very big areas with full of suppliers. I think it's just throughout the supply chain. So that's really nice to see, and also allow us to have direct conversations with Japanese customers to know immediately what their need, what their voice is. And but on the other side, I mean, I have to compare to the other major event globally. So for us, I think it's mainly to follow up the local development in Japan. And I'll start from the electrification. So for EV, I mean, Japan is quite a long time known for their conservative status. I mean, talking about electrification. And but I mean, quite surprisingly to me, I would say is that in this visit, especially for this year, we had really a lot of discussions with our customers throughout the supply chain. I mean, from OEMs to tier ones to tier twos. And their concerns and also the topics they brought to the table are quite advancing. I mean, they ask a lot about things like the all-in-one solutions, which has been very popular to lower the cost for EV. And so we are seeing really tremendous interest from the supply chain there. So it means that they are really seriously playing on it. And also I can share a very, very interesting story because you know that for the EV power modulars, so where you find that IGBT or silicon carbide in the power modulars. So that's a very key part for EV to drive the motor. And quite recently, we have one kind of new technology. It's called embedded dies. That means the power modular itself is gone. So the bare dies are put directly into the PCB. So it's a very compact system. So I shared the same story as, okay, probably it's for the local supply chain, it's not really that advanced yet, but you are really looking for the most advanced solution. So that's, I mean, quite kind of, for me, it's a nice surprise, nice take for the electrification part. And also, I would expect that because of the war in the Middle East, so globally we are seeing a very strong push for EV. So I think probably that will also move Japan quite forward in the next months or years.
Yeah, that's interesting. So because Japan has been very conservative about going electrified, I think they're at the point they want to go further. If they want to go further now, they really want to look for the very advanced solution, right? I mean, exactly. Rather than picking what's available on the market, that's not their play. Their play is that they're looking at really further in the future. And for that, tell me a little bit more about all-in-one in electrification. Can you explain?
Okay. So normally in the drivetrain system for the EV, we have sometimes the standard is called EXO or 3-in-1. That means inverter, e-motor, and the gearbox are integrated into one solution. I mean, the beauty of integration is that you really save the cost. I mean, just imagine that how much you save about the connections, housing, and also cooling stuff. And then, so that's kind of the standard of the industry for the moment. But China goes much beyond. So they are having the all-in-one solution. By the way, we have very good analysis of all generations for all-in-one from BYD. So if you are interested, feel free to reach out. And then we are seeing that's very valid way. But for the rest of the world, actually, it's much less seen because it's quite a complicated system. You have to really build a lot of things together. And also you can hardly rely on a single supplier to do that. So OEM has to take care of the big part. So that's why we believe it is, even though it is very effective, but still the global players are really less in that way. But now we are seeing the Japanese players, they are really asking for it. They are really kind of doing a lot of research on that part. So we think they are also playing very seriously to have the all-in-one system.
What about you, Pierrick? What kind of stood out while you were in Japan?
Yeah, they are really following how the global trends are evolving and how they can implement this into their new car. But what stood out from the exhibition is that for the ADAS part, no tier one were exhibiting sensors only. The tier one mostly provided a global solution based on the compute side with zonal controllers or domain controllers to bring, let's say, all data into one controller and how to fuse it and process data to reach more performance, autonomy. That was the main goal, with many booths as well focused on software that will be embedded into these domain controllers. And that's, I think, that's the global picture we see for tier one. So they are squeezed between OEM taking the lead for ADAS, designing their own SoC or some software lines for ADAS, and the tier twos providers like NVIDIA, Horizon Robotics, Qualcomm, Mobileye, and so on, that are pushing their own platform. So the tier one, as we know them previously, they have to reinvent themselves and provide a complete solution to the OEM. So not only designing some basic parts to the OEM, but bringing a complete solution, including sensors, software, and controllers.
You were also in Beijing Auto Show. What stood out for you?
I would say it's a lot of innovations in China from the local tier ones, I would say. But I mean, from the total technical point of view, for me is that the L3 is kind of a buzzword for the top pickup. I mean, for me, for the Beijing Auto Show.
That is quite interesting in light of the fact that L3 elsewhere in the world, whether it's in Germany or in the United States, or even in Japan, actually. Japan had Honda, and I think German automakers also came to the United States and tried to sell L3. That went nowhere. Why L3 in China?
I think it's actually for China, it's they are also doing the kind of the legislation for L3. So they are actually working on the compulsory standard for L3, I think, to be launched this year. So we are also following up very closely. I mean, I think it's for the moment, it's more, I mean, for me personally, I would say it's more like a marketing kind of stuff, because I mean, if you said you are L3, I mean, clearly it's compared to all the others, it's still L2 plus or L2 9.999, whatever. I mean, it's a clear standout. And but on the other side, I mean, also as know that it's not fully legislated yet. They said it's basically it's L3 hardware ready. So
I see.
That's the situation there. Yeah.
Where does L3 stand? Is that it's just another landmark to go to L4, or it's a self-glorified L2?
I think this is something actually the most intensive discussion is ongoing. So I cannot make a conclusion for you. It's a pity, but I'm just sharing the ideas we have. I mean,
Yeah.
for most people, I mean, even for our own kind of initial forecast, we see L3 is kind of a progress step between the L2, L2 plus, and then before L4. So it's kind of a quite big market potential there. I mean, still we believe there's a quite large market. And that's also we believe why this year in China is a lot of companies, I think especially actually Huawei are pushing really this kind of L3 idea. But on the other side, I mean, we also see apart from those vehicles that claim to be L3 ready, there is also another one which is XPeng. So the newly launched XPeng GX is claimed to be L4 ready. So that's pretty interesting because that's also bring to us a discussion. Okay, L3 versus L4, where we are, and it's just as you ask. So we call it the convergence between L2 plus and L4. So we are seeing, I mean, like several players, like Tesla is a very good example. So why we say it's converged? Because they are using the same foundation model can be implemented both to L2 plus, which is the cars we are using every day, or to L4, which is the robotaxi service. I mean, before they are kind of separate teams and they are working on their own. But the beauty part of this converged way is that you can really leverage the millions of vehicles on the road and collect the really real life data, and also especially the precious corner cases, and use that one to train your model. And then you can implement this foundation model to the L4 robotaxi, which will greatly accelerate the development for the robotaxi. And otherwise, I mean, like Waymo, if you're only running on your own fleet, then probably you have hundreds or thousands of vehicles and running in just limited cities. That's it. But now with this kind of converged way, we see the chance to really greatly accelerate the L4. I think that's also why XPeng is claiming that their car is L4 ready, because they are using the same car, both for the passenger car, I mean, like the cars are selling to us, and also will use the same car for robotaxi. And they are, of course, I think as Pierrick mentioned, they are using their own chips, the Turing. For the L4 one, they will use 4 Turing chips.
It's L3 ready hardware or L4 ready hardware. That means their focus is definitely on the roadmap of their own SoC development. What new trends, Pierrick, do you find among Chinese car OEMs who are really into this SoC development right now?
Yeah, it's quite clear, and there were many announcements during the Beijing Auto Show, like BYD, like Li Auto, and so on. They are designing or they are releasing their own SoC that will be able to compete directly with the NVIDIA Orin or the NVIDIA Tor that were in use for the NOF functionality. And for the recent announcement we have seen in terms of computing power, it's almost the same now. So they are using the advanced technology nodes as NVIDIA, and they are able to provide all the ecosystem. They are bringing their own ecosystem to remove NVIDIA from their supply chain. Rivian as well, they are following the same way.
Is any of those Chinese OEMs talking about developing SoCs for end-to-end AI learning?
That is, I think I would say nowadays is the standard. I mean, since the launch of end-to-end, I think by the end of 2023, 2024 by Tesla, I think basically all the new launches is kind of aligned to end-to-end. So now it's developed, I mean, in 2 ways. One is the VLA, so this is the vision language model or vision language action. So that's kind of multiple players are working that way. The other one is, I think its major one is world model. So that's also we have like NIO and also Huawei is working that way.
When it comes to electrification, I just want to come back to the electrification because we started out this conversation with Japanese eagerness to adapt really advanced EV solutions. What about in China? Where do they excel and where are they further? Where are they going?
I think for me, the top pickup for the EV part in China actually is charging. From the general picture, I would say is that the high power or megawatt charging is kind of the new norm. I mean, that's first of all, you have to also moving further upgrading your voltage before was 800 volt, and now it's already the wall of 1000, and probably I think even go further. And that means that you can really charge your car from 20 to 80% of SOC in barely 5 to 6 minutes. The battery cell. So that's kind of the battery cells is evolving from 5C, 6C. That's kind of the standard for premium cars, but now to more to 10C, 12C. So that's allowing you to have really very fast, quick charging. But on top of that, actually, there is also one new trend is that the integration between powertrain and chassis. So that's also happening in China. I mean, it's the start of quite also a new trend, but we're also seeing the power of really this kind of integration. And also that's also in line with our understanding that you will have the motion control. So that means in X, Y, Z directions, and you have all the powertrain and also chassis things united into one powerful system.
It's the direction the industry is taking for centralization. End-to-end is also a strong push. It was initiated by Tesla some years ago, and that's a necessary path.
Maybe it's about the adoption of the L4 robotaxi. I think also in the past years we are seeing really fast progress, and now we believe with this kind of L2 plus and the L4 convergence, the rollout of robotaxi will be greatly accelerated.
Very good. Thanks for the participating in this discussion, and we're looking forward to both of your reports in coming months. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Junko.